What's up, everyone? It's Atlanta X Driver, and have I got a story for you guys in this episode? So, I think I've only told one story on this channel, and I have a couple good ones. Weirdly enough, they all are Lyft, except for one. They are all with Lyft. And this one, like the title says, is someone bled all over my passenger seat. So, this was, gosh, so it's March right now. I want to say this was still back in 2017. This was a good 4 months ago, probably. I got a call to a dialysis clinic. Now, if you don't know what dialysis is, I didn't really know what it was until after the fact, and I looked it up. But it's basically where they flush your system out. A lot of people with kidney failure and stuff go to these places. And I've picked up people from these clinics before. I've never had a problem until now. But so I go there, get the call. It's pretty close. Didn't really think much of it. And when I get there, I'm waiting for a couple minutes. And so I'm about to call the guy because his 5 minutes with Lyft is about to run out. And the guy comes out. So this guy, my heart goes out to this guy. Everything that happened was not his fault. I sure hope Lyft didn't penalize him or anything. But he comes out. He's in a wheelchair. He's pretty much blind. He's missing both of his legs. And so immediately, I'm just okay. So I got to get out of my car, and if that makes it sound bad, I get out of my car to help him, like any good person should, or anybody should, period. And so I help him into my car, and everything seems fine. There was no blood on the wheelchair. There was no blood on him because I was helping him into the car. I didn't grab him and scooped him up, but opened the door and kind of just helped him get in the passenger seat. And plus I put his wheelchair in the back of my car. So once I did that, we start driving back to his place. And we're just talking, small talk. He was a vet, and he's obviously just going through a hard time, but it's really these rides that put all my complaints way to the side. I can't complain about anything when there are people like him out there who are still motivated to wake up every day and just do what they got to do. Because I am blessed to have all my appendages, my sight's fine, all that. So really driving, I know this is kind of on a tangent, not to get too deep, but driving around, it's almost been 2 years that I've just experienced some crazy things and met some crazy people, and mostly in the good way. But it's really stuff like that hits me hard, and I'm still a young 20-something-year-old, and some days I'll just be complaining and I'll have no motivation to do anything, but then I'll go out and drive, and I don't always get something like that, but I think back to that, I'm just dude, if that guy's still hustling, I have absolutely no excuse. So that was honestly the best takeaway from this story, at least for me. Anyway, we get to the apartment, and I can't talk. I get out of my car, go around, to help him open the door. And as soon as I open the door, I notice something, a stain that wasn't there before. It's my car. I check it every day. That stain wasn't there. So I'm okay, it's barely noticeable. I think it's just some dirt that rubbed off on the edge. So this time he actually needs some help getting out of the car. And I don't really scoop him up, but I help him ease into his wheelchair. As soon as I do that, there's this big red stain on the passenger seat, as you can see, wherever I post the photo. Now, I'm not the most squeamish person, but this was completely revolting for obvious reasons. But what got me was I looked at my hands. And we're covered in blood. There's still some of his blood on there. And I was cool. So I need to go wash my hands, get you out of here, and then call Lyft. Now I tried to be, I was pretty respectful about it. There was somebody else there too. He was just like, "Oh man," I was like, oh, "I didn't say that." And the poor guy being blind, he was just like, "What? What is it? What is it?" I told him straight. I'm just like, "Sir, you're bleeding. There's blood on my seat." And he felt really bad, and I didn't want to make him feel bad. I was just like, "Yeah, you're bleeding. I don't know what the doctors did, but let me get you inside." And his family was in there. They went to go do their thing. I washed my hands off in their sink. God, that was gross. But that whole experience was just, I hope that never ever happens. And I guess the best way to combat that is to like just really pay attention to whoever's coming into your car, especially if they come out of a clinic like that, and just be like, "Are you, there's really no polite, I don't know a polite way to go about that." It's just awkward too. But anyway, ended out working decently well for me, besides going through that experience. Called Lyft, actually talked to somebody, which was really nice. All I had to do was send them the pictures that I'm posting right here that you can see for your viewing pleasure. And they sent me $125. Now, the thing is with blood in your car, so most car wash places won't deal with that for obvious and clear reasons. Got to protect their workers. It's sketch. It's got to do stuff to their equipment. But I went to a couple places, and then Mr. Clean, this was up over in, I don't want to say Duluth. This was more like in the Swanee area, which is right next to Duluth, kind of. But Mr. Clean, they're franchises, so each one operates differently. Like they can set different rates and stuff like that. But they cleaned it up for me, and they did a really good job with it. So, if you ever have blood in your car, that's where you go. But yeah, and it was nice because it only cost me like, I think it was under $20. So it made up for it in itself. But yeah, that is probably the most disgusting thing I've experienced. I've only had one person throw up in my car. Other than that, it's just been people smelling really bad. But that is by far the most disgusting thing I've had to experience driving for Lyft and Uber too. But that happened with Lyft, so I guess it would just be with Lyft. But anyway, hope you guys found this story somewhat entertaining. If you guys have any stories, you can leave them in the comments, or I encourage you, if you guys are driving and if you guys experience really anything, to all my drivers out there, I highly recommend just documenting yourself. Even if no one's going to watch it, it's kind of cool to just go back. Like, I have videos from over a year ago that I've watched, and I was just like, wow, I've come a long way. Not to get too in depth, but Uber and Lyft being a driver, I feel like it's a stepping stone. And honestly, if you're any way involved with the rideshare community, there's this guy called the Simple Driver, and he talks about how to make lots of money with Uber and Lyft, and a lot of that has to deal with branding. And one of the best ways to brand yourself is just to make videos, raw videos of you, and post them on YouTube, or well, I would just post them on YouTube. If you have an Instagram stories are hot too, but YouTube for sure. And just start branding yourself from there. Who knows? People will like you, use your referral code, or I don't know, maybe you're really good at making videos and do something with it. But yeah, anyway, cool story. I got a couple more for you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.